Please join me and welcome Mr. Sherman.
Good morning, everybody, or at least that's what it says on my original speech. I wish they would tell us when they're going to shut down freeways. So I didn't make my presentation this morning, but I'm glad to be able to be here with you today because I love what I'm doing, and I'm solving a couple of very big problems. So today's presentation is about the Maker movement, and you are all here a part of the Maker movement. That's what this is today. Maker fairs, Maker conventions, or all of us showing the world that us as makers have a valuable place in the world. And today I want to show you how the Maker movement can help us improve education like nothing has in a long time, and help solve a major problem called the skills gap. And that problem should scare you. All right? So let's talk about, for a moment, our history as makers. We are a country of makers. We became valuable to the world because we made the things the world needs and wants. We still do that today. People don't realize we're the second largest manufacturer of durable goods in the world today. And we just recently got passed by China. Right? Everyone's afraid that we no longer make things. Well, you cannot imagine just how many amazing things are made by this country. And our history proves it. From the 1940s to the 1980s, we had shop classes in our schools. Yes, some of us went to college, some of us went to the military, and a lot of us had the fundamental skills to go out and get a job and be valuable to the world. You look at Fortune 500 companies, how many of those CEOs aren't college graduates? They learned what they did when they were high school age, whether it be computers or tinkerers or manufacturers. They were makers. And we've taken away that opportunity from a lot of kids. It's time to give it back to them. In the 1990s, somebody had this brilliant idea that everyone should go to college. Everyone should go to college. And that's one of the worst things we've done to this country in a long time. And let me tell you the secret about who thought up that idea. Colleges and universities. They wanted more customers. They wanted more of your money. And nowadays we have an awful lot of people graduating with a 4-year degree, $100,000 in debt, and no job prospects. Now, whereas you look at the skills gap is a gap in manufacturing that basically says there are over 25 million jobs getting unfilled because the educational system is not making the kind of people that manufacturing and innovation requires. In the late 2000s, in the 1990s, shop classes have been destroyed. When a shop teacher, someone with a little gray hair, retires, that shop is shut down, and that's it. Everyone's going to college, and that's a travesty. We have taken the opportunity away from an awful lot of people to be productive members of society, to be makers, to be creative. All right? What is the skills gap? In essence, it's a shortage of workers. Yes, we are not doing as much manufacturing, people-wise, as we did 20 years ago. But we have the facilities, we have the technology, we have the equipment, but now we don't have the people. There is something in manufacturing called the silver tsunami. The silver tsunami is the retiring of our workforce. I've spoken to a VP of Boeing, and he told me 86% of the manufacturing and engineering staff is eligible to retire in the next 5 years, and they have no idea where to get replacements. They're right here. Our future engineers, our future makers are right here. The problem is they're here playing. They need to be taught skills. They need to take this passion for making and become skilled makers. In the 2000s, a little light in the darkness begins to shine called the Maker movement. Maker fairs, MakerCons start to come out in this country. People realize that they want to tinker again. Being nerdy is becoming cool. All right, a lot of makers are coming out of the closet. There's Maker Pride developing. The Bing Bang is a very popular show. Dirty Jobs. I mean, who doesn't love Mike Rowe? Showing the value of hard work can not only be very fulfilling, but it can be very valuable. I have people that don't have college degrees, have a high school education, that are multimillionaires because they learn how to make something valuable to the world. All right? From the last couple of years, Maker fairs such as this have brought us together. And finally, over the past couple of years, the educational system has gone, wait a minute, maybe we left something out recently and we should bring it back. And that's why we're here. This movement is literally being called the third industrial revolution. Let me tell you, it's simple. If we no longer have the innovators of the world will no longer need us to innovate. If we don't make up the products, if we don't come up with the products that lead us into the future, we're in trouble. If we stop manufacturing things, we become dependent on other countries, and that's not good for us. All right? I want some brilliant young man or young woman here to design the wheelchair that I'm going to need in about 20 years. Better yet, design me a robotic torso. All right? And I don't care about your algebra score or your French history lesson. I care about the fact that you know STEM, that you know how to use hand tools, that you know how to create based on raw materials. And there's never been a better time in history to feed that maker movement. The maker movement today is something incredible. You have tools here that I only dreamed of when I was growing up, and they're all available to you. You have resources here like these many maker spaces that'll give you access to those tools so you can tinker, you can play, you can create. You can do all those things. My maker space is a little bit different, where we take the play in making and we can make you into a skilled maker. We like to think that we're the future of hands-on education. The maker movement, don't let anyone think it's a fad. You've all heard of Etsy and eBay. These are multi-billion-dollar entities. These are where people come up with a product, make enough to sell and sustain themselves. We are going back to what this country was. People don't realize that at the beginning, at the dawn of the automotive age, there were hundreds of car manufacturers. Eventually, we consolidated them to 12. All right, right here you see drone builders, you see 3D printing companies. We are at the dawn of another industrial revolution. The ability for hundreds and thousands of people to gain these skills, to have access to the tools of making, to become the Fords, to become the Jobs, to become the Hewlett and Packards and Walt Disneys. This is the time we do it. What we have to very seriously consider is we have to move all this play into something more serious. And that requires our schools to start teaching these things. This is the high tide mark of the maker movement, when the White House had their own first maker fair last year. So it was incredible. This event was phenomenal. And you're all familiar with selfies, right? Bathroom selfies, you've all done them. That was my first one in a White House bathroom. That's going to be tough to beat. So it was an incredible day. It was credibility to the maker movement. Our president said that we need to support the maker movement in every way possible. My congressman last year started the Congressional Maker Caucus to help push the maker movement in Congress. It's a bipartisan caucus that has members on both sides, all doing something I think is really good. The problem is, industry and education is missing out on the maker movement. It's one of the greatest things to ever happen to them, and they're not aware of it. If you talk to a school about a maker space, it's becoming less and less common, but they go, what's a maker space? Well, it's kind of like shop class. Oh, no, we're not touching shop class. No. If you tell a parent that their kid's going to learn factory skills, they're not interested. I'm sorry, have you not been to the Tesla factory or the SpaceX factory? Most kids would die to be in those places, to learn those skills and work in these places. All right, so what we have to do is prove to them that people of all ages want to learn these skills, especially our young people. That you need these skills because you're robbing a certain segment of our society of their value to the world. We need to give them these tools. All right, why does industry not hire kids straight out of high school? Because high school does not produce the kind of kids industry needs. All right, when we had shop class, I went straight to a job that my college-age friends were jealous of, and I never left. I've enjoyed the world of making my entire life. All right, now it's time. Go back for a second. I'm sorry. One more. Back up. There we go. We need to do this. We as human beings, we need to push for change. We need to support anyone on our school boards that thinks we should have a makerspace in our schools. Call it what you want. Call it a STEM lab. Call it an innovation lab, but make damn sure there are some hand saws and some screwdrivers, and are some Arduinos and Raspberry Pis and 3D printers and laser cutters in there. And when I had shop class as a young man, that was the stick. You're not smart enough for algebra. Clearly, you're going to end up in shop class, and it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. All right, I was so fortunate that happened. Today, you're not smart enough in algebra. You're just not smart. They have no outlet for their intelligence. Why do we keep judging fish on their ability to climb a tree? Why don't we supply them an aquarium? And I grew up in an aquarium called shop class. We need to do that for our kids. There's something called the A to G College Prep Standards. They mean A is algebra, B is language, C is math. The F is drama. Our kids are required to take a year of drama or fine arts on a college prep class. Let me tell you, who wants a year of drama? We all get enough drama in our lives. Nothing against the performing arts, but where is the hands-on component? Now, a few weeks ago, they changed the laws to where CTE, Career and Technical Ed, is part of that requirement, which is amazing because at least some of these kids will get a taste of what it's like to be makers. Right? So where do makerspaces fit into this movement? And I think there's at least 3 or 4 makerspaces here. Number one, they give kids, I'm calling ourselves kids too, access to tools and a place to find their maker path. They connect us together. My place on a Friday night at 10 o'clock at night is full. We are the nightclub for nerds. There are people in my place that gather doing something they truly love. We're not drinkers. We don't give a we don't give a heck about football or baseball. We want to tinker, make, and create. That's what a makerspace is. So find your closest one, become a member, go play, all right? We need makerspaces. We need makerspaces in schools, in libraries, in communities, all right? And then we need to take it a little bit further. What is a Vocademy? Yes, Vocademy is a makerspace. The way I like to relate it is makerspaces are gyms, all right, where any of us can go to exercise our love for making. A Vocademy can be seen as an Olympic training center. We like to think of ourselves as the future of hands-on learning, where someone can go after they found their love of making and make it into some tangible skills. Most makerspaces, you can take a class on a 3D printer and they give you access to that 3D printer. You can come and use and tinker. In our space, we have 4 classes on 3D printing. The first one gives you access. The next 3 teach you how to be really, really good at it. And in between classes, you can come back as a member and practice. So not only do you get your first piano lesson showing you this is a piano, good luck, you can keep coming back and getting better. Our machine shop curriculum is 40 hours. No theory, no history, no tests, no scoring. The fundamentals of what you need to be able to do something well. And we're developing curriculums in 12 subject areas. We are open to anyone ages 14 and up. So if you discover a passion for making in your 30s or 40s or 60s, you're as welcome in our place as anyone else. My dream for opening Vocademy was to bring shop classes back to schools. That is still my dream. That is something I need your help with. But what happened 2 months ago is a charter high school system moved into my facility. Learn for Life, they're here. They're a charter school system that takes high school dropouts and gives them a 2-year path to a diploma. These kids come to my facility like they do to 70 of their facilities. 1 time a week, they get tutored and tested, and they go home with a homework packet. They come back a week later. Well, guess what? Now those kids can stay and take our classes. So not only are these kids going to graduate with the college or the high school diploma, they're going to have some tangible, marketable maker skills. And I hope many of them end up as entrepreneurs, not just have the ability to get a really good job. That's my dream come true. My goal is to put 30,000 square foot Vocademies in every community as that hub, as that hands-on learning place. And then with your help, I want to help schools put turnkey maker spaces into all their middle and high schools. Because I need someone to ignite the spark that I can make into a flame. Excellent. Our classes are industry-based. I'm not just teaching you how to do something for the sake of you knowing how to do it well. I'm doing it to industry standards. In other words, when you make something in our facility, and you think you want to do this as your passion, as your livelihood, if you take that something to a job, and you show that person, and they go, I know exactly what you're capable of. You have the skills I need. Why is it that artists have artist portfolios, right? They have these beautiful binders of all their artwork. Makers should have the exact same thing. I'm tired of black and white resumes with no pictures. Show me pictures. Show me what you've done. Because an awful lot of companies nowadays, we're done with pieces of paper. Show us your value to the world by showing us what you've made. Oh, back up a second. So our goal is simple. I want to put an Olympic training center every 30 minutes away, 30,000 square footer, and I want, with your help, to put mini maker spaces in every library and every school down the street, because we create an ecosystem for makers. Because Vocademy and maker spaces are the glue Industry does not hire people out of schools because schools don't teach what industry requires. All right? Industry's not happy with the product. Manufacturer's not happy with the product. Well, I can help schools create the perfect product. So not only do you get your education, you get skills. And the solution is relatively simple. Vocademy is that glue that brings them all together. You don't need a Vocademy to help the maker movement grow. You need to get involved. You're here, a lot of you here are to entertain your kids. They enjoyed the play, but let me tell you, some of them are going to want to do this the rest of their lives, and it's up to you to give them that choice. Go to your school, find out that makerspace in your community, and feed that desire. And let me tell you, when we had our first woodshop class over 2 years ago, the youngest person was a 14-year-old boy. The oldest person was a 74-year-old woman. And they enjoyed that class just as much. Making is in our DNA. And we need to make sure that our kids get away from a two-dimensional world and make three-dimensional things, because we exist in a three-dimensional world. And we have the tools today to make it happen. So I ask all of you, get involved with us. Get involved with your local makerspace. Tell more friends about events like this. And let's grow our maker tribe. Because without the maker tribe, society cannot exist without makers. Because we are the ones that make the world move. We are the ones that make the things the world needs. And I welcome you to all join us. There's no secret handshake to be a part of the maker tribe. I'd love to have you all along for the ride. So my name is Gene. My place is right down the aisle here. Come chat with us. And I look forward to having you, all of you, become ambassadors for this amazing thing, this amazing maker revolution that we're a part of. Thank you. And if anyone has any questions, we're going to throw a blue ball at you.
Yes.
Everyone thoroughly confused? No questions? All right. Come check us out if you'd like. We'd love to have you there. Oh, over there.
Wait, I didn't think I could catch it. What do you think would be the kind of investment to get something like this started?
In a school, in a community?
Yeah, I'm at a community college, so.
You go to war with the guns you've got. So basically what that means is you reach out to your community and find out, oh, you have a sewing machine? Can I have it? You go to a local company. We need some raw material to sew, to weld. There are 3D printing companies. See what kind of deal they'll work for you to bring it in. Part of the things we offer is we're doing something called turnkey makerspaces, where an entity calls us up and say, Gene, I have X amount of square feet and I have X amount of money, and we offer you a catalog of offerings saying, okay, if you're starting off, we have an amazing 3D printing company partner called Raise 3D. Their machine is amazing. But as your first machine and you have $300 to spend, you're going to spend it on a paper cutter, something called Pepacura, paper craft. That'll have the most bang for the buck. All right? So whether you have $500 or $50,000, you can step it up. You find used and old equipment, make sure it's safe. You find a facility. You find those die-hard maker volunteers. My staff is not credentialed educators. My staff are masters of the trade that we give them apprentices, the way we've done for ages. Do it. Start with the dollar you've got. Gather people around you, you'll have $10. Thank you all for coming.